You.
All right, we are joined on the podium by head coach Michael Schwartz from East Carolina, Ezra Ausar, and RJ Felton. Coach, before we get into questions, would you give us some thoughts on today's game?
Yeah, just first of all, just a lot of respect for Coach Conkle and the Tulsa program and their players. I thought that they've been playing as good as anybody in the league, particularly the last couple of weeks. And so we knew it was going to be a great challenge and test for us. So feel very fortunate, very proud of our guys, these two guys and our whole team, because this win today really defined resiliency in terms of the flow of the game. And that's something that our players exemplified today.
All right, Coach. We're going to take the question up front, but let me see if we can get a microphone to you so the people in on Zoom can hear the questions also. Hold on one second.
First of all, congratulations tonight on the win, guys. Ezra, 28 points tonight. You guys dominated them in the paint 42-16. Really a question for both of you guys. How were you guys able to be so successful in the paint, and was that part of the game plan going in?
Absolutely. We knew we have to get to the paint, whether it's offensive rebounding, whether it's driving the basketball or throwing the ball down low to Ezra, Brandon, and RJ. These are our three guys that we post. Brandon's not up here with us, but those three guys we have full confidence in. And a lot of teams use a double team like Tulsa did tonight, and I thought our guys did a good job getting it out of there. But we're not going to win a three-point shooting battle versus anybody. Tulsa hits 10 threes or 11 threes, whatever they hit tonight. That's never our game plan going in. We're going to shoot it, but we knew we have to get to the paint, and I thought these two guys and Brandon did a great job of it.
Over on the left.
Hi, Jameer Jaleo with Photo Focus at USF. Your next game is going to be up against USF, and I just want to know what the feeling is in the locker room as you look to knock down the top seed.
I answer. We're just remaining confident and humble. We're just going to prepare ourselves for tomorrow's competition. Ain't no much to really be said.
They're the league champs. They've had a great season. Just their whole, Amir and their team, their players, a lot of respect for them. And so we know it's a great test for us.
No. Okay. We've got some questions via Zoom.
Okay, we'll start with Stephen. I go, please.
Coach and Ezra, for both of you guys, when did y'all notice the rim was maybe off center or the goal? And, it looked like it happened on that dunk earlier, and kind of take us through that weird sequence and then having to finish the game after that.
No, I'm gonna answer this one. It was that breakaway dunk that made the rim crooked, man.
Yeah, Stephen, it definitely wasn't me hanging on the rim. So
I noticed it at the free throw line. When I dunked the ball with power, Coach Sawyer said it's gonna be hype for me, so I had to go punch down.
Y'all played like 4 minutes of game action with it like that. So I don't know. Do you think that maybe affected anything? And then was it hard at all to refocus after that? Because it was a pretty long delay.
We just needed the rim to be adjusted. I know the free throws were falling, so.
yeah, it's one of those things, Stephen. What are you going to do? It's what it is. We had just missed a couple free throws. I'm glad that Ezra was noticed it. I didn't even realize what was going on until the officials talked about it. So I'm just glad that in terms of being aware and observant, and you just have to go ahead and keep moving forward. And I thought our guys responded after, things happen, and our guys responded again. That goes back to the resiliency piece.
Okay, we'll go next to Patrick Mason, please.
Hey, this question's for RJ. You've been on a tear lately, scoring a bunch of points, but when you got guys like Ezra having a season high and Brandon pitching in, what does that kind of do just for the floor? How does that open up everything for you?
Wherever they primary focus on me, that's gonna open up for the guys. Like when I drive and when the defense collapse, that's gonna allow Brandon and Ezra to go to work. I mean, that's what happened today when two guys came in. It was open kick, and they knocked them shots. Ezra had a hell of a game, and I hope we can carry that over to the next game.
Okay, we'll go back to Stephen, please.
Ezra, what is it about that building, man? Does it give you some confidence? You obviously played well there last year. Did you kind of know going in, maybe this is a chance to really play well again?
I'm just out there playing hard. I'm not playing for no points or anything. Really, I think I'm more focused on the defense and just my intensity of just playing hard all the time. And the game just came into me.
Other questions, please use raise hand. Back to Stephen.
Coach, just going into this tournament, obviously, I know it wasn't the way you wanted to end the regular season, but you kind of touched on it with the resiliency aspect, but coming back and winning today, like just how much does that kind of mean to your team and now maybe going on a run in this tournament?
Well, I'm definitely not thinking about it in terms of a run. I'm thinking about it in terms of what you just said, that we knew playing one of the hottest teams in the league. We had obviously lost 5 straight. The last 2 very heartbreaking, gut-wrenching losses, the SMU game on the road and Charlotte at home. And you know what? I've always loved it about this team. These 2 guys next to me and everyone else in the locker room is that every day in practice, every film session, whatever it is, there's an excitement and an energy to try and get better and be ready for the next game. And I thought for the 3 days we prepared for this, as we traveled here, the guys showed that. And I don't think we win the game if they don't have that. So I give them all the credit in terms of their mindset, mentality. Would we have liked to have not ended the season that way? Of course. But you know what? It's a fresh season. We're in the conference tournament, and you had to go try and go 1-0 today, and we got that accomplished.
We got
Okay, another one from Patrick, please.
And coach, just going off that, I mean, like you mentioned, you go into that tournament losing 5 in a row, but was there just sort of a sense like, that this isn't us? Like, we have a new chance, a fresh slate to just kind of, reset a little bit and just kind of do what you can do?
Yeah, sure. Of course. I think everybody in the country goes with a reset. And I think the only time you don't want to reset is when you're playing your very best basketball down the stretch. And even then it becomes a reset. And I've been a part of those programs too, where you have extreme winning streaks or playing really good. And you almost, feel like you just want to keep it going, but you have to reset. You get 3 or 4 days off, you travel. It's a totally different feel and environment. And again, the maturity and I believe the resiliency of our players is what allowed us to reset. And we got back to doing some of the things that we had done well when we were playing our best basketball in early February, which was assisting on made field goals. We had 17 assists, offensive rebounding, defensive rebounding at a high level. We won the rebounding battle today. And those were the areas we focused on going into this game.
right front up here.
Coach, so I'm sure you guys are taking it now 1 game at a time, but obviously 4 games in 4 nights, that's what ECU has to do to get to the NCAA tournament. What do you believe this team needs to do, both preparation and rest-wise, to put themselves in the best position possible to do that?
Yeah, one of the most simple questions you could ask me is do everything we can to prepare for South Florida tomorrow. That's all we can do. That's what's in front of us. Give ourselves a chance to be in position to be able to answer that question one more time.
All right, coach, guys, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All right, we're joined on the dais by Tulsa head coach Eric Conkle and PJ Haggerty. Coach, before we get into questions, could you just give us some thoughts about the game?
We came into this game talking about the few things that we needed to do. We played East Carolina, second game of the conference season, so it was a very long time ago, but just in watching them, we knew 3 things. We were going to have to take care of the basketball. We were going to have to protect the paint. And we were going to have to play with a level of toughness. And we took care of the basketball really well. Just 8 turnovers. PJ to my left had 0, 9 assists. Like there was some really nice play on that end. Unfortunately, we weren't able to protect the paint enough. And they were able to get there with 42 paint points, get a number of free throws, comes right down to the end. And just a couple plays here and there, but I'm really proud of this group. Very young and inexperienced coming into the year, but got better and better and put ourselves in position here to get this one today, but unfortunately just fell a little bit short.
Thank you, coach. Anybody in the room with a question? Raise your hand. Okay, I believe we may have some questions via Zoom.
You can just use the raise hand feature on the Zoom if you have a question, and go to to Steve and I go, please.
I was just curious down the stretch, when ECU started to employ kind of the fouling technique, was that tough, frustrating at all, not getting the chance to maybe get a game time 3 off? And what do you kind of thought of that?
Well, we went with an action. We thought they might foul, and we tried to go to a kind of a tip play to try to get an opening, and it was very close. Could kind of go either way. Thought we were going to get it out of our hands, but they called the foul, and then we tried to play the long game with free throws and even a design free throw miss and so forth. But give East Carolina credit for executing that. There's a number of different things, there's trying to get off a quick 3 and so forth. But, we put ourselves in position in a number of different areas to try to execute, but they're tough plays to make when you're down at that time of the game.
Next to Patrick Mason, please.
For PJ, the first time you guys played ECU, you had a nice game, and then today, obviously, 29 points, a bunch of assists. What is it about playing them that you're able to find some success?
Just reading the defense, just seeing how they play, just looking for my teammates, trying to get them good shots. And then when you get them good shots, everything just, it just opens up for me, allowing me to get in paint, get some shots and just things like that.
Coach, what was the difference in the paint? I know through with Ausar with 28 and 10, Johnson 15 and 13. What made those guys so effective that made them a problem for you?
Well, they used the whole clock, and they kept running action to try to find their way there. Of course, they got some offensive rebounding that hurt us, but even just late clock plays of them either getting fouled and where we got a little bit undisciplined with our arms and so forth, but we were trying to make plays too. And we've been a team that's been able to get steals and get deflections by being aggressive there. But again, give them credit for some of the things that they did, but just their overall attack. Didn't shoot a number of threes. We went to the zone for a little bit just to try to keep them in front, but they were bound and determined just to keep fighting for the paint. And it's something that they've done most of the year. Ausar, he had a great game, and he did it with just tremendous activity and was relentless in getting down there. We needed to do a better job of just building walls and just trying to make him score over the top.
Right here in front, Coach.
Question for PJ. So PJ, AAC Freshman of the Year, 29 in the playoff game tonight, and you just look like a leader out there as a freshman. What do you look to try to build on in the offseason in your game and try to make yourself better going forward?
Just to get better in every aspect. I mean, you can get better in everything in basketball, and I feel like I can get better than a lot. Just whether it's reading defenses, shooting, just defense, just everything really. I mean, it's not a specific thing I could get better at. A lot of things I get better at.
And then, Coach, can you talk about PJ's the season that he's had, kind of a history-making season, in this conference, and how the future looks for you and him?
Yeah, I've said this many times. Clearly he was the American Athletic Conference Freshman of the Year for the number of things that he did, but he got better and better as the season went on. I'm very, very proud of him. I think about the conversations we had in the recruiting process and all the different types of things that we talked about doing, and he's really delivered. And you'd mentioned about his leadership, his maturity at a young age. And he's got just an everyday way about him that I think serves him so well. He's not a guy that's going to get super, super high and super, super low. Just is a grinder and a worker and is trying to get better and better. I know I had to submit my my NABC voting, and I take these things very seriously. But I voted him for Freshman of the Year. I really think he is. You look at his numbers over the course of the year and what he meant to our team in the competition that we had and how competitive we were as the year went along. I don't see a freshman that was as impactful as to his team in the nation. So it says a lot about who he is as a person. It says a lot about how him and his teammates work together, but just really proud of PJ.
All right, Coach. PJ, thank you very much. And thank you to Jared Emerson, the SID, for his help as well.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.